Hello and welcome to the Empowered Queen Show. I am super excited to have my guest with me today, Miss Robin Devonish. Robin is known as the Self-Publishing Maven, guys. I'm so excited. Thank you, Robin, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, yes. Well, I cannot wait to jump in and you share the title here that we're going to discuss today is Everyone Has a Book Inside of Them. And so I cannot wait for you to share, how did you personally become the self-publishing maven? Like, how did that happen?
Well, okay, so I'm going to have to go back a little bit before I go forward, right? And I will go back to when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I was a young lady who, you know, when you're a young person, sometimes you just do just enough to get by. And I was that, I guess you can say I was that type of person. I was never an A student. I was more like a, you know, B, borderline C student. But one of the areas that I struggled in is I struggled in writing and not necessarily reading, but writing. Had wonderful penmanship. However, I wasn't considered to be, you know, one of the best writers. And so I was always in remedial classes and things like that because of the fact that, you know, I didn't push myself to the potential that, you know, God had definitely had, you know, ordained for me. So moving fast forward, you know, I graduated from high school and moved forward, but I wasn't necessarily sure what I wanted to do with my life. And so my mom gave me the opportunity to take a year off and to work and to do some other things. And so she wanted me to go to college. That was the goal. My mom said, you know, she had 5 daughters. None of them had been to college. I was her 5th child. She said, you have to go to college. And so that was the agreement that eventually I would go to college, right? And so as time went on, I worked a little longer than anticipated from, you know, from coming from high school. But in the interim or whatever, you know, this cute guy came along and we made a baby and I had a son. And so I have a son now. He's 25 years old. However, you know, once I had the baby, my mom said, you have to go to college now. Like, you have this baby. I'm going to watch him while you go to college. And so that was the agreement. Unfortunately, my mother died suddenly. And so here I was with this young baby who wasn't 1 year old yet. I was still a young woman and not even 22 yet, had this small baby, right, that I had to take care of. And so, yes, now I definitely had to go to college. And so I applied to this college that has sort of like an accelerated program where you get your degree, your bachelor's degree, in less than 3 years. And so it was very accelerated. And so, of course, back then, you know, because I'm a woman of a particular age, back then you had to take a test and do all of these things to get into college. And so I took the writing exam. And so the gentleman said to me in admissions, like, you know, we're going to let you come in the school. However, I don't think you're finished because you have really poor writing skills.
Wow.
I'm going to pause for a second.
Wow.
He said to me that he didn't think that I would finish because I had very poor writing skills. However, we'll put you in remedial writing and all of that. And so this particular college now, it was very accelerated, and you had a paper in every class every week. So it was 5 classes. So each week you had a paper due, and each paper was no less than 5 pages, sometimes 10 pages, sometimes 15 pages. And so I had no choice but to learn how to write effectively and to do the assignments. And so I would cry every night trying to make sure that my writing was up to par. And so where some of my papers they started out as C's, they turned into B's, and eventually they turned into A's, right? And so I said, well, you know what? I can do this. And guess what? I can even write a book. However, you know, as life would have it, things happen. You know, I have my son. I had this child to take care of. He started to get into school and all of that. So you kind of push things on the back burner. You know, you have an idea in terms of what you want to do. However, when you have a children, you kind of put certain things on the back burner. And that's what I did. I put it on the back burner, in the back of my mind, that I wanted to write a book someday, but I didn't necessarily know what I needed to do. And so I got with this company, and, you know, multi-level marketing, you I don't know if you've ever been a part of multi-level marketing, Marche, but multi-level marketing is like the training ground to help you with your potential. You know, aside from what Jesus says in the Bible and how it encourages you, multi-level marketing is like the next best thing to help you to reach your potential. And so I joined this multi-level marketing company, and they asked this one day, what did you ever dream of? And I said, I've always dreamt of writing a book. And so I got a coach within that circle of people, and she helped me, just really kept me accountable. And I wrote my book. I wrote my first book. It was a fiction book called The Struggle Within. It was a story about 3 women and some issues that, you know, they're going through, and it's Christian fiction. And so I wrote the book in 2007. I wrote the book in 2007, and then people started to ask me, Robin, how did you do that? How did you write the book? How did you publish the book? Now, let me just say that when I published the book, the publishing process was a nightmare. It was a nightmare because I wasn't educated, because I didn't know anybody that wrote a book. And the people that I did know, they thought that I was crazy for writing one. You know how you have some people around you that, you know, you want to be outside the box and doing things, and they want to talk because they don't understand. So I had to cut them off and still move forward and do what I had to do, right? And so I published the book, and people were asking me all of these questions. And because I had such a nightmare, I started to educate myself on the area of self-publishing. And I knew that I would write more books. So I said, well, I'm going to educate myself on the area of self-publishing. And so originally, I started to give information for free to people. Whoever asked me about self-publishing, whoever asked me about books, whoever asked me about book covers, whatever you asked me, I had the answer to, because I did my homework, and I wanted to make sure that no one went through what I went through in terms of the publishing process. And so then it shifted from giving information to having free classes. Until one day, this gentleman came up to me and he said, Robin, like, you give really good information. Have you ever thought about making this a business for yourself? No, I really didn't think of that. I really didn't think of it. I said, I was just sharing information. He was like, no, you are a wealth of knowledge. You really need to get paid for this. And so after that, I got a mentor, I got a coach, got with some people, and that's how the Self-Publishing Maven was born. Okay. And so what the Self-Publishing Maven does is, what I do is I help individuals to nurture their book idea and publish their vision by sharing products, services, and information to help you to become a happy author. And so what I want to do is produce happy authors. I want people to get the self-publishing process to where it's not stressful for them, where they have all the knowledge, all the information, and that way they can make informed decisions, and they don't have to be frustrated the way that I was. And so, you know, one thing that my mentor says all the time is that sometimes there's fortune in your frustration. And so because I was frustrated, it ultimately turned into a fortune. But just to backtrack to that, you know, admissions counselor, I would love to meet him now, because now, you know, I've written 5 books. So I would love to see what he would have to say now, today, to that little girl whose mother had just died, and him telling me that I'm not going to finish college because I have poor writing skills. And so that's how it happened.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. That is powerful. And it's so amazing how a person, they're bold enough to tell you what you won't do, or what you can't do, what you don't have the ability to do. But you're bold enough to say, yes, I can.
Yes. Yes.
That's so powerful. And I love that you shared that part of your testimony, because as women, a lot of times we're not bold enough to give a bold response. You know, the person is big enough to say it to me, that I should be prepared and empowered enough to speak it back, that, yes, I speak power over my life.
Yes.
And you proved that. And how many books now?
6. But one of them I give out. I don't really sell. I just really more so give out. But yeah, I've written 6 books. So yeah.
From the person that was told that you won't even finish, you can't write, your skills.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I love it.
And this is the thing, you know, one of the things that I always like to say is that I just want to make my mama proud. That's all I want to do. You know, she never got a chance to see how I turned out. She never, you know, I was a young girl with a baby at that point. And so she never got a chance to see how I turned out. She never saw me graduate from college. She never saw me finish graduate school. I did go to graduate school as well. Okay. You know, so that means a thesis is in play for that. So she never got it. And so for me, you know, it's really important that I have a level of success on my terms. Now, I'm not letting other people define my success by how much money I make and all of that. You know, once I got that degree from my mother, I felt like I was a success. However, you know, it's nothing wrong with just keep going, right? Just keep going and making more milestones and more successes in your life. So, yes. So I'm grateful that she pushed me to do that, because before she passed away, one of the things that she did say is she said, you're going to do great things, Robin. She said that to me. She said that to me probably about 2 weeks before she passed. And like I said, it was suddenly. She went to the hospital and she never came home. So, you know, you're going to do great things. And so I keep that in my mind that, yes, my mother said I'm going to do great things. So it doesn't matter what anybody says. I know that God has me, and that because my mother said that I'm going to do great things, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Exactly. And nothing could stop that. I love it. Oh my God. Girl, I have a list of questions here. Blew my mind. It's so touching to hear women really share and be transparent. You know, to have other women and to have that, to embrace what your mother said and know that no one can take it from you.
Nothing.
I'm so excited. What I want to do now, Robin, is to let the listeners and the viewers know, how could they reach you? How could they have a conversation with you?
Well, you can go to my website, robinedevonish.com. That's www.robinedevonish.com. I have a contact page if you have any questions about publishing, about, you know, book writing, book covers. Listen, I still give free information, because I understand that there's a lot of information out there and you don't necessarily know what to sift through, what's right, what's wrong. So if you have a question, you definitely can reach me that way. Also, I give a lot of great tips on Periscope. If you want to follow me on Periscope, Robin E. Devonish, you know, give information there. I still have a lot of scopes up about writing, about publishing, you know, different things related to books. And then I'm on, you know, most social media outlets. On Facebook, I have a page called the SelfPublishing Maven. So I'm, you know, if you Google my name, Robin Devonish, a lot of things actually will come up. You know, prayerfully, all of them are good, but you never know what people, you know, but yeah, if you Google my name, Robin Devonish, you know, you'll be able to find me. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, those are the 3 platforms that I'm mostly on. And of course, I love Periscope, and I Periscope every day, Monday through Friday, in between the hours of 6:30 and 7:30.
Awesome. Well, Robin, I know you mentioned that you had something just special for my guests. I'm so excited. If you want to make a that offer now that they can reach out to you and just have a personal conversation with you. And thank you so much for doing that for my guests, my listeners, and my viewers. So if you can share that at this time, I will be thankful.
Yes, of course. So if you go to robinedevonish.com and you go to the contact page, put in the subject area coaching gym, and then in the body of the email say I'm in. And if you do that, I will give you a 20-minute coaching gym session to talk about your book. It's no obligation. You don't necessarily have to work with me afterwards if you don't want to. That's not what this is about. This is about me helping you to make the informed decision and to give you some feedback in terms of your title, in terms of the cover, you know, just to give you some tidbits to help you. So if you go to my website, again, robinedevonish.com, go to the contact page and the subject put coaching gym and then type I'm in, it'll come to me, and then we'll schedule your 20-minute session.
Awesome, guys. Guys, please take advantage of that. Be sure to say that I'm in. Because just before we got on the call, Robin probably in 3 minutes. Like, she outlined my entire book, so she knows her stuff. That's how she got the name of the Self-Publishing Maven. So she definitely knows her stuff. And I want you guys to take advantage of that, because it's someone that needs to hear the story that's within you. God has ordained you. He has given you this gift and this talent, and you just need to know how to birth this, how to word this, and how to get this out to the world. And Robin is the person that can assist you with doing just that. So guys, thank you so much, and thank you, Robin, for being a guest on the Empowered Queen Show. As always, guys, I see you soon. This is Marsha Mayfield, known as your result-driven coach. Thank you.
Thank you.